MetaTope was started to solve a problem. Back in the beginning of 2021, end of 2020, I became really obsessed with NFTs. The technology was really special. I was already into blockchain, smart contracts, and just purely investing in cryptocurrencies. But once I started to really understand the possibilities of non-fungible tokens, especially with a legal background, um, I wanted to bring further utility that extended beyond a profile picture or access to a club or a party. So that's how MetaTope started. It was trying to find, how do we utilize NFTs in a better way, and what do we need in order to do that? What kind of infrastructure, what kind of technology needs to be there so that we can do that? I love this question because we've seen problems every step of the way throughout this entire process. It started with the initial problem of the lack of utility for NFTs and the profile picture standard, that people were cutting out their Bored Apes or whatever PFP they had and photoshopping it over their face in the real world. So that's where we came up with the markerless motion capture, not just doing face where a lot of other companies do it, but we went full body with it. So face plus body plus hands. And so that was the first problem. As we've grown and evolved, we keep encountering problems that we find solutions for. One example that I think an outstanding example is our auction process. So we saw the issues with gas wars. We saw the issue with arbitrariness when companies set prices for their mints. So rather than us arbitrarily setting a price and hoping that our community comes and buys it, we're letting our community make that decision. We're letting our community set what a fair market price is and encourage an equitable distribution. So I think a good real world example of how we can use and enjoy this tech is when you look at the landscape of most internet users, probably around 90% are on social media, and a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of those are in Web3. So now you take Web3, bring it over to social media, something that most people do every day. And it's easy because we want this application and this technology to be really consumer friendly and do things in a different way that Web3 hasn't been doing. So with our application, with our integrations, you can enjoy your digital avatar, your alter ego, your digital identity right there on your phone and create content that is easily shareable on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, what have you. Another really fun example that's in the pipeline is using it in an interview or on Zoom. And then before that, we will be integrating these in games with our relationship with Moxie. So if you're a gamer and you want to take that identity from one game to another, you can do that with your empty skin and with our tech. So yes, that's what's so awesome about this. Most devices out there on the planet are capable of running this. If you have an old phone, then it'll run into some issues, but the vast majority of all devices out in the market will be able to run our application and render this tech in real time. And the crazy thing is we weren't sure. We weren't sure if the technology was going to be evolved enough to handle it until we got to NFT NYC and we saw that the phones could handle it an entire 8-hour day. So that was with the Samsung S22, and that was really, really exciting because we didn't know how taxing it would be with what's out there, and we were pleasantly surprised. So what makes MetaTope different from its competitors is the keys that we're handing to our community. We're not just turning over 3D files that you can download and say, hey, now it's your problem. Now you have to go pay somebody, or you need to be sophisticated in Blender or Maya in order to use these things. We're not creating a closed ecosystem that forces you to only exist in our ecosystem. We are building frameworks to connect all these separate metaverses. That's what this project is, and that's what differentiates us from other projects on the market. Walker and I probably have the next 10 years planned. But the truth is that in a year from now, we know we'll be working on MetaTope. We know we'll be building, and we don't know exactly where that will be because we didn't know that we would even be able to do live rendering a couple months ago. We thought that you would have to upload videos and then get it returned after your phone had more time to process it. So I love having to pivot like that. But what I can tell you is that we will be building, and we will continue to build, and we have a lot of fun things planned, a lot more interactive aspects for our application, a lot of things to drive value to content creators and make interacting with Web3 way easier than it currently is. We have some fun things brewing in fashion and tying tangible goods to NFTs and then being able to wear them using augmented reality in our application, and some other AR experiences based on where you are, whether you're at a concert or at a park. We have a lot of fun things coming over in the near future and in the long term, and really excited to be along for this ride.